Hello yogis and welcome to my channel. My name is Xenia and today I will guide you through the full body yin yoga deep stretch. So we are going to take quite time today for our stretches. It's about 1 hour length class and you need some props today. You need 2 blocks today. We're going to do a supportive fish pose. You might need also a combination of pillow and block, or if you have long bolster for the saddle pose, so we are going to work also with our quads. You can replace it with the nice big pillows if you have them from the sofa. So take a moment, prepare all props near you, and we are going to start from the short concentration on ourselves. So when you feel ready, I'm asking you to sit nice and tall. You may close the eyes and to do a couple of deep breaths. And now softly bring focus on your heart zone. And on every inhale, you start bringing oxygen till the chest zone. And on every exhale, back to the nose. And you relax your face. Soften your shoulders. Open your heart zone. Just observing yourself and finding nice tempo to breathe. Connection between your body and breath. And then softly refocus yourself on your belly zone, on low part of your belly. And now on every inhale you feel how air goes till the belly. And exhale back to the nose. And you relax your belly zone. You relax your low part of the back, tailbone, and hip zone. Let everything go to the ground. Letting yourself to be relaxed. And just staying how you are. Pure and transparent. And when you feel ready, you start slowly come back, softly opening your eyes. And we will start from the wide leg child position to open up in soft manner our body. So from the tabletop position, I will ask you to open your knees maximum wide on the sides. Close your big toes like a triangle shape now and bring in maximum as low as you can, sitting bones to your heels. Then lengthening your arms, hands in front of you, and from the heart moving as deep as you can down. I remind you that in Yin Yoga we don't press, we don't push. We spend some time at the beginning to find our level, our age in every pose. And then you relax and holding the pose, staying still. Now give some base in your hands and start softly bending the elbows, giving some base through your forearms, closing the pose. So you want to close knees to the middle line, and then from here just smooth move, lean on your belly, and we are moving to our back openness in the seal pose. So you want to bring your chest down to spread your hands wider out of the line of your shoulders and a little bit further from the body. And keep in mind, as close you will place hands to your body, as more intensive it will be. So when you feel ready, you start to press away, straightening your arms, checking how do you feel with the back. On the top you can roll the shoulders to drop them down, opening like this more your heart zone, shoulders, neck, face, and pressing down through the pubic bone and low part of the belly. You're grounding yourself here. If you feel that it's already intensive at the beginning, please don't change the pose in the air, so bend the elbows, ground yourself first, chest down, and then change position, placement for your hands. And again, rolling the shoulders, dropping them down, so we're not squeezing here. The neck space. Relax the face in this pose. Now softly bending the elbows, relieving the pose. Bring your chest all the way down, and for a moment completely relax your back. Resting pose in crocodile position, forehead on your hands, and relax here. And then we softly move into the shoulder stretches. So we are going to do very similar on the shoelace position, but only for the arms. So you want to extend and lengthen your hands, arms to the opposite sides. So bringing them, crossing them near your chest. And here is optional if you know that it's quite intensive for you and you cannot bring forehead down. Maybe you need pat something soft here or the block and place forehead on the block. If you know that it's okay for you and you can go deeper with the forehead, hold the way down, or someone the way you're doing without any support, finding your level, and then relaxing and staying still. We are going to do for shoulders a bit shorter practice. Then you start to relieve the pose. Remember what arm is on the top. So for me it's the right one. And we are going to change the cross. So now you change the arms and again lengthening them to the opposite direction. Finding yourself on this side. And then again, maybe moving deeper with the forehead. Maybe you need the block for this side. Checking, not really pressing or pushing. And relieving the pose. Come back to the middle line. Open your arms into the cactus arms or squared alignment. Forehead down. Now we are going to stretch our shoulders from the inner side, so you want to hold right arm absolutely in the same position like it is. You can bring your head on the side and press away with supportive left hand. You start to roll on your right arm. It's really tiny small move, so you press away, found the spot where you can feel the stretch and staying holding here. We're going to do it shorter. Keep in mind that your right shoulder stick to the ground, so you're not moving really with the right arm. And we are going to hold a little bit more here. Then softly start to relieve. Again, open your arms, both arms on the sides. Check your squared 90 degrees alignment. And now bring your head on the left side and pressing away with supportive right hand. You start to roll on your left shoulder. And start to close the pose. Relieve and completely bring yourself into the middle line. And we are going to move to the supportive fish pose. So you need 2 blocks for this position. And I will ask you to bring them into the T shape, or you can place one block by diagonal line to another one. I prefer more diagonal line than T shape. And we are moving with the space between the shoulder blades on the first block. And spend some time here. You really need to find comfortable zone for you. This is your base for this pose. And then you will be able to hold it longer period of time. And then up to you, classical approach, you can lengthen your legs and stand like this, or if you work with the hip zone more, you can open them on the sides and stay in reclined butterfly position. Choose the level for your arms, opening hands, arms on the sides. This is the first modification. For deeper stretch, you can bring hands a little bit above the head, like diagonal line, 45 degrees. And the most intensive stretch when you bring your hands, arms above the head. It's also work more with the shoulders. But keep in mind that we are going to hold this pose longer period of time. Sensation should be really mild. 3-4 out of 10 by scale. And also keep in mind, if you feel uncomfortable with your back, or maybe it's already intensive stretch for you, you can lay on the pillow or to place blanket or something more soft on your block to soften this zone space on the top of the back. Loosen your arms, support your hands if you're in butterfly position with the legs close, knees to the middle line, and then gently bring your blocks aside and let your back to lay for a moment to feel the base, straight line. You can bend the knees to bring pelvis a little bit, like roll and move on you. Couple of deep breaths. And we will move to one of intensive stretches in Yin Yoga, a saddle pose. So for this pose you may need a big bolster, or you may replace it. I like to do it like this with the cushion or the pillow, any pillow, and one block for your head. Keep in mind also that this pose you can split on two parts. So what we are going to do now is to work mostly with our quads, and it can have effect on the lower part of the back. That's where you need really to have good support under your lower part of the back. So you want to bring yourself into the sitting position on your heels, so your sitting bones on your heels. And from here you start accurate. Open your heels on the sides and bring a shin parallel towards your long side of the mat, and sitting bones right between your feet, so you should sit them. If it's already intensive for you and you feel that already a lot of things happening, I advise you to make a pause here and to length extend your one leg. So you will do on one side first, and then somewhere in the middle of the stretch you will change legs. If you feel okay and you know that you can move deeper, then bring both shins in parallel lines, then bring in your back on supportive bolster or pillow in my case, and block under your head. Principally, if you know that you can go deeper, you can do it also without any support. Spend some time to find your edge. You don't want to open knees on the side, so you want to keep this straight, squared alignment. And then relaxing, holding the stretch. If you're holding one side in the middle of the stretch, I will tell you when to change. If you're holding one side, you may change the side. If you're holding two legs at the same time, just staying still. softly coming back. So give some nice base in your hands. Lift up your hips back. When you feel that you ground yourself on the sitting bones, here you start gently to close the pose. So it might be really intensive for the knee zone. Don't rush from the pose. Lengthen your legs here for a moment. You can do some bicycle moves here. Recovering a little bit blood circulation. And as still we might collect a little bit unnecessary pressure on the low part of the back, and we are moving to our hips. We are going to lay and hold shoelace pose. So completely laying on your back, you cross your legs, crossing the feet zone, grabbing your feet, and up to you. Where is the level of the stretch that feels okay for you? You might need maybe the strap or the belt also if you feel that this is something where you're struggling already. So create some length, and then you may press through your feet, bringing them closer to the sitting bones, to the hip zone. Very similar sensation that you experience in the pigeon or swan pose, just from the both sides. Or for more intensity, you can bring your feet even higher, so closer to the chest, and staying here, holding this lock. We're going to hold this pose a little bit shorter, mostly to get relief after previous position. Great, and let's relieve the pose, grounding our feet, turning around and moving to the tabletop position. We are moving to our hip stretches, hamstring stretches. So you want to bring your right foot between your hands. Check yourself. Your knee should be in safe zone, 90 degrees. If you need some length and more intensity in the hip zone, you can crawl with the left leg back. You may need blocks maybe on the sides for this pose. I like when my back is more straight. You can roll the shoulders, drop them down. If you feel any uncomfortable sensation under your left knee, you have maybe more sensitive knees or some issues with them, please place something like a towel or soft or even pad your own mat now. And relax in the zone of the stretch. It's really a great openness for the hip zone, for hip flexors. Staying and holding. And reliving the pose, you start to move with the pelvis back, giving some pressure through your hands, so you start to help your hips to close the pose. And then keep your hip on the same line of your knee. If you need, you can do some extension here with the right leg a little bit more to the front. So you don't want to move with the hips back. You want to keep the straight line of your hip and knee, and staying here in half monkey pose. So up to you, depends on the sensation. You can ground your hands here and rounding the back, keeping your legs straight. You're staying in the stretch. If it's getting too intensive at the beginning, maybe you need again supportive blocks on the sides. Again, check straight line. How do you feel with the hamstrings? And then rounding your back without any additional pressure, moving deeper. Keep your hips squared, so try to not curve them on any side. And coming back, giving again base in our hands, bending the knee. Maybe bring yourself shortly again to the low lunge, and then stepping back and closing. Right side, preparing our left side for the same sequence. So you want to step between your hands with the left foot. Check your front knee. 90 degrees. Again, maybe you want to crawl back with the right leg. Some more space for more intensity. Maybe grounding yourself with supportive blocks. And maximum relax in the zone of the stretch. Hips. Staying still. Beautiful. And again, with supportive hands, give some really nice pressure through them and start to bring pelvis back. Moving your hip exactly on the line of your knee. Lengthening your left leg. Toes on you. Checking how do you feel with the hamstrings on this side. And again, up to you with the blocks, so hands. Let your body to accept the pose. Check your hips, squared alignment. And moving deeper, rounding your back, staying in the half monkey pose on the left side. We are holding hamstring stretch a little bit shorter. Beautiful. Start to close the pose, maybe bending the knee. Low lunge for a moment. Stepping back. And then you want to ground yourself completely on the sitting bones. We are going to hold butterfly position. So bringing your feet closer to the root chakra. And if you know that it's quite intense stretch for you, you just stay in here and maybe giving through the elbows a little bit pressure, rounding your back and staying in this first modification. If you want to go a little bit deeper, then you fix the lock with your hands on your toes. Then from the hip, belly, chest, you bring yourself a little bit to the front to emphasize this inner thigh stretch. And then from here you start to round your back, so without any pulling or pressure, just rounding your back, moving deeper to the ground. And staying still. Great stretch for the inner thigh, for the low part of the back. And start to come back. First straighten your back. So you want to feel this again, straight line, grounding feeling through your sitting bones. And then we are moving to the side stretches. So you want to bring your knees on the sides. It's nice if your heels will be right in the middle line of your body, and then smooth move with the right hand on the side, feeling this first side stretch and joining your left arm, maybe bending the elbow here because we are going to implement more yin yoga approach here. Staying still. If you feel that you want more intensity, you can lengthen your left arm, but might be more difficult to hold the shoulder. Keep your eye on opposite left knee, so you don't want to follow the move, you want to keep it steady and heavy still. We are going to hold these stretches a bit shorter. Then straightening your right arm, coming back to the middle line, changing direction, so smooth move with the left hand on the side. Again, keep an eye on the opposite knee. Check how do you feel on this side, don't expect sides to be the same, and then joining your right arm, maybe bending your elbow, still keeping more openness to the sky with the elbow, and letting body to sink down into the side stretch. Pressing away with the left hand, straightening the arm, coming back to the middle line, and right from here moving to our straddle position. So we want to open our legs on the sides. Check what level you prefer. You should not bend the knees. If you feel that you're bending the knees, it's the sign that you need to cut the distance between your feet. You may sit on supportive block. It's really helping to support low part of the back. So the sign that you need the block, if you immediately feel that you're rounding the back, painful sensation, please don't suffer in the pose, use supportive tools. So you may sit on the block. Then the same move, like in butterfly position, from the hip belly, you bring yourself a bit on the front, emphasizing our zone of the stretch, and maybe hands in front of you, opening hands to the sky, up to you, and maybe moving deeper. You may feel also to place the block under your forehead here. And staying, holding the stretch. Start gently to close the pose. It's quite intensive position in yin yoga and any yoga practice. So we want to bring our back first into the straight line, again feeling this grounding feeling through the sitting bones. Then supportive hands under your knees, closing them in the middle line. And before shavasana, maybe just shortly here, twisting pose. You can just hug your knees here, look behind you, opening maximum your back shoulder, and couple of deep breaths here, lengthening your spine, and then relieving and changing the side. So nice hug with the right arm, opening your back shoulder, moving into the twist. And then coming back and prepare yourself for shavasana. Maybe you need blanket, maybe some warm socks on your feet. Any comfortable laying position. You can open knees on the sides or straightening your arms and legs completely. Relax your whole body. Relax your face. Relax your chest zone. Relax your hips on belly. And let shavasana to connect all poses in one. And start to move with the hands and feet. Bringing yourself back. Maybe doing great stretch above the head with the arms and hands. Stretching out the body. If you want, you can roll on any comfortable side for you. And then softly coming back into the sitting position. And now our hands in front of the heart for clean, loving intentions. Thank you for joining. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, so much for joining for this long class Yin Yoga full body stretch. I hope you liked the poses. I hope you found your edge. Keep in mind that if some poses were intensive for you, sometimes you need a couple of classes to understand the pose, to understand your level in Yin Yoga, maybe to use more supportive tools. So don't criticize the poses from the first approach if you were experiencing them first time. And I see you on the mat. See you next time. Namaste.